So now the Kings are starting to get showered with love. And, I know we all like, hey, give the Kings some respect. Now it's like it's too much today. It's too much. You got Bill Simmons. You got Russillo. Could they come out of the West? You got Kendrick Perkins saying they're going to the Western Conference Finals. And then that's not all. Just moments ago, J.J. Redick, who called the Kings trade of Tyrese Haliburton malpractice, just put out a new pod. I don't know if he talks about the Kings the entire time, but the duration says 27 minutes. He apologized to Kings fans. Do we have a portion of the clip, Chris?
The Sacramento Kings.
Okay.
One of the best stories in the NBA. I'm super hyped about this team, man. I cannot wait for playoff games in Sacramento.
I have a question for you about the Kings. Is this a team that can make and potentially win the finals?
Make and win the finals. It's interesting. Let me start by saying this. Jason knows how I feel about this. I want to look in the camera. I want to be very honest. We spoke earlier this season about accountability. And I just want to be accountable for some things that I said at the trade deadline last year. Now, in the context of the trade deadline, I didn't like the trade. I should not have used the word malpractice, and I apologize for that. I apologize for that to the Sacramento Kings fan base, and I apologize for that to Monty McNair. Wow. This trade has turned into a win-win. Now, the team struggled last year. I think they were 5-9 or 5-10 with Sabonis once after post-trade. What they did this offseason, they bring in Mike Brown.
My favorite.
And there was an ad.
Of course, it just goes to an ad.
You could check it out on JJ's YouTube page, but apologizes for what he had to say about the Kings and says he's excited to see this team in the playoffs, that they're a good team, that they're fun to watch, one of the more fun teams to watch in the NBA. His co-host asked him, well, do you think that they could win a championship? He said, I'm not ready to go there yet because of the defense, which that's fine. Who cares about that? What do you think about JJ coming out and apologizing?
I love it. I love it because when you are so strong with a narrative and you have a large platform, you have a responsibility not to be right, but to be fair. And there were so many people with a large platform that just weren't fair about it.
They were punching down.
They were, dude. And I'm fine with people over the years crapping on Sacramento when they were bad and they were punching down and everything because there was drama. It was all ugly. Things were bad. I understood it, but it was also like, okay, we know things are bad. Thanks for like rubbing it in our faces. How about you just break it down instead and to push out like what the Kings need to do better as an organization. And now you're seeing there's no drama. There's winning basketball around and everyone wants to be a part of it now. And the people like JJ Redick, you're allowed to join and come on now because if you have what it takes to accept accountability and apologize because you actually respect the game of basketball, you're allowed.
Yeah, because he took such a radical take today. Actually, Kings Next Level on Twitter hit me up today and put a clip of our podcast out of when he called into our podcast on Night Chat and said the Kings could win a championship. And he said, they thought I was crazy for this Kings take at the beginning of the season, crying emoji. I'm like, hey, everyone thinks you're crazy about with that take. And by the way, I still don't think they're going to win a championship, but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
I hope I'm wrong.
Me
and
too.
I'm just here to enjoy the ride.
Hi, in the beginning of the season, not only said that the Kings, I said, we're not going to make the playoffs this season. I was like, no. I've had people within the organization ask me, are you a believer yet? And this was still in the beginning of the season when they were looking good. And I was like, no, like the Western, people are going to figure it out in the Western Conference. Like there's no way this team is too new. I was very wrong. I am so damn glad I was wrong because this is how it should be when you have a team this special playing this special of basketball and they should be achieving these type of things and it's not fake. That's the other thing. And that's the other reason why you have so many national people coming out because they all know it's not fake either. It's not fluky depending on what other team's health is and everything.
I think JJ
you're going to get this
job.
work in the postseason.
Yeah. I think JJ is one of the best.
I agree.
Business as a basketball
analyst.
I just, when he did that, I'm like, come on. So, I think Kings fans have been kind of waiting like, hey, are you going to give the Kings some love? He's given the Kings some love in his podcast, I don't know, about a month ago or something, but this was the first time he's like, you know what? I apologize. And so it's cool. I think it's cool. I like JJ Redick. I do. And so it's good to acknowledge it. Not just there are a lot of people in this business in general that will stick by their takes no matter what.
Yeah.
And I've never understood that in our culture where it's just like,
Oh, Deuce, I understand it.
it's okay to be wrong.
Do you want me to tell you
Yeah.
the truth? And I'm just being honest. Let's just be real right now. It's a male dominated business, right? Sports talk, all of that. There's so many men out there that are so insecure. And there's women out there too, guys, but I'm just talking about one thing right now. There's a lot of men that are in sports talk that are so insecure. So when they're wrong about something, they can't admit that they're wrong, because if they're wrong, that means someone's going to question their knowledge and what they know and all these other things. And no, sports is ever changing. It's always evolving, and things can happen like this in a season. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to admit when you're wrong.